Hi everyone, in this video we will discuss decimals. As you know, we are currently treating numerical processes. We just concluded fractions in the last video. In this video, we want to proceed to decimals. What's a decimal? A decimal is a way of representing a number that is not a whole number using a decimal point to separate the whole parts from the fractional part. So for example, something like 3.14. This is a decimal. You can see it's not a whole number. So you can see the decimal point here. So we call this part the whole number part. And this part the fractional part. The fractional part. Yes, fractional part. So you can have a decimal like 2.3, 3.56 and likes. But that's a decimal in simple terms. And then there are different type of decimals. We have the terminating decimals. Terminating decimals. Those are those decimals that have end. So they end in a number. For example, 0.5, 1.25. These are termination decimals. You can see so they have an end. 0.5, that's the end. 1.25, that's the end. So we have recurring decimals. Recurring decimals. Those are decimals that do not end. They do not end and they also repeat the same number. For example, when you have 0.3333333. So this is a recurring decimal. You can see it's a recurring decimal. You have 0.333 and the thing continues like that. It does not end. That's a recurring decimal. So for a non-recurring decimal, so there are also decimals that go on forever, but then they do not repeat themselves, unlike recurring decimals. Recurring decimals they repeat 0.33333, 1.666666. But for non-recurring decimals, they also go on like that, but then they do not repeat. For example, pi, for example, e. So pi is a number. So pi we have 3.142, and then the number goes on. So the numbers go on. So you have 3.142, then you have the number like that. For E also, so this is value of pi. For E also, 2.718, then it is endless. But then the same numbers does not repeat itself. Unlike in case of recurring decimals, that same number repeats itself. 33333, 6666666. For non-recurring decimals, there are different numbers. You can see a mixture of 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. But then it is endless. Yes. So just like in fractions, in decimals also we perform basic operation. Basic operation. So you can start with addition. Addition of decimals. So how we can add decimals. So to add decimals, the first thing to know is how to arrange the numbers above each other. How do we arrange the numbers? For example, we want to add, for example, we want to add these two decimals. You have to be able to arrange them properly. So we arrange the decimals on top of each other such that the decimal points they align. The decimal points are in line. For example, so I want to add this. So we have 133.3. This decimal point must also be here, right? It must be directly below the first one. So you have 3 and then 1. You can now put your 5 here. You can see how we did that. So don't put 13.5 at the beginning here. That's wrong. You start by orientating the decimal point to make sure it has the right orientation. So 13, put decimal point here first. Then the numbers to the right, to the left here, put them there. 3, 1. And the one to the right also, put it there. So we can now add normally. 3 plus 5, 8. We have points. 3 plus 3 is 6. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then 1. So let's, what if we have 1,000? So we want to add also. Plus. So we want to add these three decimals. So we start with the largest one. 1,000.35. Now for this second number now, we have to make sure that the decimal points fall zero also. So let's see. So we have 12, right? So let's put this 2, 1, yeah, right? Then you have 5. Don't start by saying 12 points. That's wrong. Make sure decimal points are directly above each other. They are in line with each other. So place decimal points here. You can now place the 12 to the left and then 5 to the right. And then finally 1.2 also. Make sure the decimal point is here. And now put your 2 and now put your 1. So plus. So you can now add. So as for 5, since there's no number below it, you just put the 5 directly. 5. So you have 3 plus 5, 8 plus 2, 10. You have 0. Then you transfer 1 to the other number here. So we now have decimal points. 1 plus 2, 3 plus 1, 4. Then 0 plus 1, 1. So here you do not have any numbers below. You just transfer the numbers you have above. 0 and then 1. So when you add those three numbers, that should be the result. So the most important thing in adding decimals is to know how you place the numbers to make sure that decimal points are in line. They lie directly above one another. Also, we want to add 12.513 plus 0.567 plus 29.4765 plus 10.001. We want to add these four decimals. And yes, we can add them at the same time. We don't have to add them separately. We can add them at the same time. Just be careful in the orientation. Make them place them properly. So, so we can have this first. 12.513. I have that first, right? So what is next? So the next number is 0.567. So you should make sure that decimal points are in line. So you should have decimal points here. Then what do you have here? 0. Then what do you have here? 5, 6, 7. So the decimal point is more important than the way we place the numbers. After placing decimal points, you can now place the other numbers. For the third number, you have decimal points here also. So you now have 9, 2. That's 29. So now place the number to the left and also the one to the right. So you can now say you have 4, 7, 6, 5. Right. And finally, have a decimal point. That's it. That's the last number. So we have 1, 0, and also 0, 0, 1. We can now add safely, right? So the last number here, there's no number, there's no number here, there's no number here. So we can transfer the 5 down. Then so let's add, in this case, let's add 3 plus 7 plus 6 plus 1. That's 17. So you can write 7, transfer 1 to the other side here. So 1 plus 5 plus 5 plus 4. That's 15. You can write 5, then transfer 1 to the next number here also. 1 plus 2, 3 plus 9, 12. So you can write 2 and transfer 1 here also. Right? So 1 plus 1, 2, plus 2, 4, plus 1, 5. So you have 5. The answer is 52.575. With this, you should be able to add any decimal number you come across. Let's move to fraction, to subtraction. Subtraction. Even though subtraction is as simple as addition, because we follow the same methodology, just that you are subtracting. And also, you're also taking note of what we said in addition. That you have to take note of the way you orient the decimal point. So that applies here also. So let's just solve one question on subtraction. That's clear. So subtraction now. So we want so we have 13.512 plus 30.577 minus 25.666. So let's see how we do this. So we have 13.512. And the number after it, so let's place decimal points here. So the 30 should be here. Then the 577 should be here also. Then finally the last number. So we should have our decimal points here. 25 should be here. We should have 666. Then we can now subtract. But then be very, very careful. Note that you are actually adding the first two numbers. Very, very careful. Note that you are adding the first words. You're adding the first two numbers. So you have to be very, very careful. You're adding the first two numbers. Or better still, let's try to add the first two numbers first. So to avoid confusion, let's add the first two numbers. We're adding this and this, right? So 2 plus 7, we have 9. 1 plus 7, we have 8. 5 plus 5, 10. 0, transfer 1 here. 1 plus 3, 4. 1 plus 3, 4. So we can now subtract, right? So this is properly. So 25,666. So let's subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3. 8 minus 6 is 2. Now 0 minus 6 is not possible. So we can borrow 1 from 4 here. When you borrow 1 from 4 here, when you take the 1 here, so it becomes 10, right? 10 minus 6, we now have 4 decimal points. So after borrowing 1 from 4 here, what do we have left here? All we have left there is 3. So 3 minus 5 is also not possible. So we borrow 1 from 4, and then we have what? So we have 3. When you transfer that 1 to the 3 here, you have 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. So the one you borrow here, when you take it back here, it becomes 10. And there's a 3 there before. 10 plus 3 is now 13. So 13 minus 5, that's 8. Then 3 minus 2 is now 1. So 18.423. I think that's sufficient for subtraction. Then for multiplication of decimals, for multiplication, we also have to be able to orient the numbers well so that decimal points lie directly above each other. They fall in the same line. Let's start with simple decimals. For example, 6.75 times 7.5. For example, we have this. So let's see, 6.75. Also, you have to place the numbers well. So we have times 7.5. Since there's no number after the 5 here, we can just put 0 there, right? We can just put 0. Then we proceed. 0 times 5. So we already know how we add odd numbers normally. So we proceed the same way. 0 times 5, 0. 0 times 7, 0. 0 times 6, 0. And also we use 5 to multiply the number above also. 5 times 5, 25, 5, number of 2. 5 times 7, 35, plus 2, 37. 7, number 3. 5 times 6, 30 plus 3, 33. And then finally, use 7 to multiply the number above. Remember that while multiplying, after multiplying 0 by all the numbers, we have 0, 0, 0. So the next one now, we shift to the left by one number. So we do not write this 5 directly under this 0. So we shift the number to the left. So we'll do the same here also. We shift to under 7 here. That's our number, right? So that's how we multiply whole numbers normally. It's the same method we apply here. 7 times 5, 35, 5, and that 2. 7 times 7, 49, plus 3, 52, 2, and that 5. 7 times 7, 7 times 6, 42 plus 5, 47, 47. Then we now add those is 0, 5. 7 plus 5 is 12, 2, and that 1. 1 plus 3, 4 plus 2, 6. 3 plus 7 is 12, 0. That's for the 1 here. 1 plus 4 is now 5. Now, the big deal is now how to place our decimal points in our final answer. As for the multiplication and the addition, we did that the way we multiply one number manually. But now the problem is how to place the decimal point. How to do that is very easy. Now in the original numbers we multiplied 6.75, 7.5. So what we do is in this number, there are two number types after decimal point. There are two numbers here. There are two numbers after decimal point. In this case, there are just a single number after decimal point. So 2 plus 1 is what? 3. So that means in our final answer, there should be 3 numbers after decimal point. Means in our final answer, there should be 3 numbers after the decimal point. Exactly. So this 0 we will not take this 0 into consideration. Exactly. We will not take this 0 into consideration. So that means we are starting from 5. 1, 2, 3. The decimal point should be here. Answer should be 50.625. 50.625. So that's how we multiply. Let's have another example. Okay, you want to multiply 10.2 by what? 1.5. Let's have this 10.2. You also have 1.5 directly related. Can you see that? Okay, multiply. So 5 times 2, 10, 0, plus 1. 5 times 0, 0 plus 1, 1. 5 times 1, 5. 1, next number is 1. 1 times 2, 2. 1 times 0, 0. 1 times 1, 1. Remember, if we want to multiply the second number, we move to the left, the one number. We've not the number directly below the first number. That's how we multiply. Now, let's now add this. We have 0, 3, 5, then 1. So after adding this, how do you place our decimal points in the final answer? So in the original number, we had what? We had 10.2 and what? 1.5. So that means in our final answer, we should have two numbers after a decimal point. We should have what? Two numbers after a decimal point. You can see that in this case, there's a number after a decimal point. Here also a number after a decimal point. Now we should have two numbers after a decimal point. So what do you not have here? 1, 2. Decimal points here. Exactly. Can you see? 15.30. This 15.3. 15.3. Let's have another number. So let's say we want to multiply 1000.1 times 25.2. Let's see. 1000.1. So put the decimal points here, your 2 here, then 25. So can we see how we did that orientation? Okay, so let's proceed. So let's multiply like we do normally for whole numbers. 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 0, 0. 2 times 0, 0. 2 times 0, 0. 2 times 1, 2. For the next number, so we come here. 5 times 1, 5. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 1, 5. For the next number, we come here. 2 times 1 again. 2. 2 times 0, 0, 2 times 0, 0, 2 times 0, 0, and 2 times 1, 2. So we now add, right? There's no number here left. We have 2. As for here, 3 plus 5 is 5. So 0 plus 2, 2. We have only zeros here, so we have 0. 2 plus 0 is also 2. 5 plus 0 is also 5. And then we have 2 only here. So where do we place decimal point? So let's check. The original number here, the original numbers here. For this first number, there's just a number after decimal point. Second number, just one number after decimal point. 1 plus 1 is 2. So you have a number here after decimal point, and a number here also after decimal point. That means in our final answer, we have two numbers after decimal point in our final answer. So where do we place our decimal point? So if you put our decimal point here, two numbers, 25202.52. Now, so someone might say, in the first example we did, the one here, we didn't take the 0 here into consideration while placing our decimal point. While in the last two examples here, we took the 0 into consideration, the example that is here. So the reason being that for the first example here, you will see that initially there was no number here, right? It was empty. So we have to just put 0 there, right? We have to put 0 there just to see, okay, let's multiply. Exactly. So that's it. So for that reason, we're ignoring the 0 here. So in case you do not have a number here, right? You probably just have to put 0 there to multiply. So the 0 that you should have at the final point here should not be taken into consideration. Exactly. So while for the second case here, there's actually a real number there. You actually have 5 there. That means the 0 that you have here should be what's taken into consideration. You have to consider it in counting number of numbers you have per decimal point. So how that is clear.